Ginkgo biloba, the herbal heavyweight with fan-shaped leaves and a reputation as the go-to brain booster for forgetful seniors everywhere. Found in health food stores, supplement aisles, and more than a few hopeful kitchen cabinets, Ginkgo has become a kind of botanical folklore champion for age-related memory loss. But as always, when a plant makes big promises about human cognition, it's time to look past the packaging and ask the hard question: does it actually work? First, some background. Ginkgo biloba is one of the oldest living tree species on the planet, surviving everything from ice ages to industrial pollution. Its seeds have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries, but it's the standardized extract from its leaves, packed with flavonoids and terpenoids, that modern researchers have focused on. These compounds are known to have antioxidant and vasodilatory effects, which, in theory, could help preserve or even enhance cognitive function by improving blood flow to the brain and reducing oxidative stress. So far, so promising. But what do randomized controlled trials, the gold standard in medical science, actually show? Let's start with mild cognitive impairment, MCI, the clinical gray zone between normal aging and dementia. Some early studies suggested that Ginkgo biloba could slow the progression of MCI or improve working memory, attention, and even processing speed. One frequently cited trial from Germany, for instance, found that older adults taking ginkgo extract, specifically EGB761, the most commonly studied standardized form, scored better on cognitive tests than those taking a placebo. The doses used, often 120 to 240 milligrams per day, were generally well tolerated, with few adverse effects. But here's where things get murky. While some studies show modest benefits, particularly in subjective memory complaints or mental fatigue, larger and more rigorous trials have delivered underwhelming results. The landmark Ginkgo Evaluation of Memory study, funded by the U.S. National Institutes of Health and published in JAMA in 2008, followed over 3,000 older adults for more than 6 years. The result? Ginkgo biloba did not significantly reduce the risk of dementia or slow cognitive decline compared to placebo. That was a pretty big blow to the supplement's reputation. Later reviews and meta-analyses have echoed this ambiguity. Some conclude that ginkgo may offer small improvements in certain aspects of cognition, particularly in patients already experiencing mild symptoms, but these effects tend to be inconsistent, dose-dependent, and often short-lived. The benefits, when present, don't appear strong enough to change the overall trajectory of cognitive decline in most aging individuals. There's also the issue of publication bias, where small, positive studies tend to get published, while negative results are quietly buried. And many of the favorable trials come from regions where ginkgo extract is produced and marketed, raising fair questions about conflicts of interest. That said, there are some nuances worth noting. Not all ginkgo extracts are created equal. EGB761 is standardized to contain 24% flavone glycosides and 6% terpene lactones, and most of the positive studies use this exact formulation. Other over-the-counter ginkgo products vary wildly in composition, quality, and bioavailability. So if someone's popping a random ginkgo capsule from a bargain bin and expecting miracles, they're probably getting more placebo than polyphenol. And let's be honest, ginkgo biloba isn't completely useless. In certain populations, especially older adults with poor circulation, early-stage cognitive impairment, or high levels of mental fatigue, it may help with focus, clarity, and memory recall, at least in the short term. It also appears to have neurovascular effects, improving microcirculation in the brain, which could be beneficial in vascular cognitive impairment, a cousin of Alzheimer's linked to reduced blood flow. But for healthy adults hoping to turbocharge their brain, or for Alzheimer's patients looking for a miracle, ginkgo doesn't appear to live up to the hype. In terms of safety, ginkgo is generally well tolerated, though it can interact with blood thinners like warfarin or aspirin, potentially increasing bleeding risk. That's not surprising, given its mild blood-thinning effects, but it does make self-medication a bit risky, especially in older adults already juggling a cocktail of prescriptions. So, where does that leave us? Ginkgo biloba is not a scam, but it's also not a silver bullet. It may offer mild benefits for certain people, especially if taken in standardized form and for specific cognitive complaints. But as a general memory enhancer or dementia prevention tool, the evidence is shaky at best. The takeaway? If you like ginkgo and feel it helps you, and your doctor's on board, it's probably fine to keep using it. But if you're looking for a powerful, proven way to protect your brain as you age, your best bets still lie in the unglamorous fundamentals: Sleep well, move your body, eat a brain-healthy diet, manage stress, and stay mentally and socially engaged. Because even the oldest tree on Earth can't do all the heavy lifting for your neurons.